So what we've had to do is basically go back to what our initial purpose was in making the series, and that was to get a dialogue started, to get people talking about this so-called HOON phenomenon. If we want to actually do something about the road toll and the incidents on the road and so on, then we need to get a dialogue started so that people are actually talking about it. Similar to what the TAC do, I guess. They put out their ads and they keep getting more sort of extreme and so on, but it's designed to get people talking. If people aren't going to talk about this and just keep vilifying and pushing it away, then we're not going to get anywhere, and that's the purpose of the documentary. There's probably not one person around that hasn't been touched by road trauma in some way or another, and sometimes it's when people break the law and sometimes it's not. My reaction to the interest has been good, that where it is starting a dialogue, it is getting people sort of thinking about it and so on, which is the intention. I guess the backlash stuff, which started in the Herald Sun and so on, where the TAC had their campaign coming out at the same time as we were coming out with our lecture series, and the newspaper set us up to be opposed, as polarised things, which is actually not the case, because we're trying to do is the same sort of thing, get people talking about it, getting an awareness campaign and that going. What they're really missing out on is that they haven't seen the TV show yet. They haven't seen the series. We've got a promo out there and we've just come away from doing a week of lectures, but no one's actually seen the series proper. Yet a lot of people seem to have opinions about it and want to get on the bandwagon and want to vilify us as filmmakers or and so on. I'm a filmmaker. I don't see myself as anybody out there on a campaign trail to say that hooning's okay or not okay. I've had lots of people submit footage to us of doing their burnouts and their 15 minutes of fame. As Callum Scott said, when someone does a skid on the road, it's basically leaving their mark. They're leaving their mark that they were here in some way. And to take that further, these guys do film themselves, and if they were to take that further, to get it on TV would be the ultimate reward, I guess, for their behaviour. That's why we don't show it, because we're not out to reward, people breaking the law. To have a subgroup that you can vilify or put in a basket is, in a way, convenient, and maybe that's just part of this whole HOON thing. The other thing is that the HOON phenomenon actually reaches home pretty quickly. Most people would get in a car from time to time and have a bad day and think they might, cut a corner or run a red light or something like that. Now, if they were caught doing that or filmed or put on in the newspaper or something, they'd probably be labelled a HOON. A bit like the 80-year-old lady who recently, was doing 160, got pulled over by the police, had her car impounded for 48 hours. She's now a HOON. Yet all our research and demographic studies and all that show that HOONs are traditionally 20 to 25 blue-collar workers. They're not 80-year-old ladies. But this 80-year-old lady broke the law and now she's labelled a HOON. Is it a HOON witch hunt? I don't know. No one's actually looked at that in any other way than what we get from the media. And what we get from the media is usually in reaction to a horror story, unfortunately, which, sells newspapers and to a degree gets people talking about it. But they're not talking about it in a way that's looking for answers. All they're doing is saying, oh, they're HOONs, put them over there. It's an Australian story. It is parochial to Australia to a degree, and I think, the best case scenario for us would be to have it seen on Australian TV. The obstacle, I guess, is too much adverse, press or publicity, or people that make assumptions and assume that they know what it's about just because it's got the word HOON in it, which then that would be a shame.